This is one for the books. Let's say you addicted to social media. What if I told you that a jury just decided that your addiction to social media is someone else's fault? And they're making Meta and Google pay $6 million for it, which is a drop in the bucket for them. But I'm not talking about some little lawsuit. This is a landmark verdict that just dropped. And honestly, it's the moment I've been waiting for years, especially in technology, because for the first time, a court said what I've been thinking. These platforms are designed to be addictive, and it's not an accident. So by the end of this episode, you're going to understand why this verdict matters way more than the dollar amount and what it means for everyone building on social media. Even Oh my god. You're going to understand why this verdict matters more than the dollar amount because the dollar amount is negligible. And you're going to understand what it means for everyone building on social media, including creators like me, or for like a part of our lives. They became the infrastructure of modern communication. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. These platforms make money by keeping you addicted. It's not a side effect, it's the business model. Think about it like this. If you go to a casino, you know what you're walking into. The lights, the sounds, the slot machines, they're all designed to keep you playing. But at least the casino is honest about what it is. Social media pretends to be a free service connecting friends and family. Meanwhile, it's running the same playbook as Vegas. Infinite scroll. Algorithmic feeds that show you exactly what keeps you engaged. Notifications designed to trigger dopamine hits. The metrics are wild. The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. Some people way more. And the platforms know exactly how to keep you there because they've hired the best engineers, psychologists, and data scientists to figure out what makes you tick. So when the jury finally said, yeah, they need to be real with you about this. On one hand, I get why the verdict happened. A young woman sued Meta and Google, arguing that their platforms deliberately engineered addiction and it damaged her mental health. The jury agreed. $6 million in damages. And honestly, part of me thinks like finally holding these companies accountable for what they're doing to the youth, especially. The youth is most at risk. But here's the tension that I sit with. I'm a creator and I'm trying to build a brand on these platforms, and my audience is on all of these platforms, right? If Meta and Google fundamentally change how they operate because of this verdict, it affects people whose livelihoods depend on social media. It affects them. My livelihood doesn't depend on social media, so I'm good. But I still depend on comes next, even the platforms themselves. But what I do know is the current model of social media is broken. The platforms are designed to exploit human psychology for profit. And as someone who benefits from those platforms, as far as brand building, I have to sit with the uncomfortable truth that my success might be built on a system that's hurting people. So, what does that actually mean? Let me connect the dots for you. First, this verdict is a wake up call for the entire tech industry. Addiction by design is no longer a gray area, it's a liability. And that changes everything about how platforms will operate going forward. Second, it's a shifting of the business model itself, because if platforms can't make money by maximizing engagement through addictive mechanics, they have to find another way. Subscriptions, micropayments, advertising that doesn't rely on infinite scroll. We don't know yet, but the free at all costs model is dying. Third, and this is the part that hits me personally, it's a moment for creators to think about our responsibility by playing the game that I was taught to play. But if the game itself is rigged against human well being, what does that mean for me? So I think about the young woman in this case, who isn't some outlier. She represents millions of people, including probably some of you listening right now, and some people I personally know who've struggled with social media addiction. And platforms know. They have the data. They know exactly how addictive their products are, and they optimized for it anyway. That's naive. The algorithm isn't neutral. It's a tool designed to maximize your time on the platform, not to serve you the best content. And if I'm using that tool to build my audience, I'm complicit in that system. So that's a hard thing to sit with, but it's very what I want you to think about. Whether you're a creator, a user, or just someone scrolling on your feed, what would social media look like if it wasn't designed to be addictive? What if platforms optimize for meaningful connection instead of engagement time? What if notifications were actually useful instead of manipulative? What if the algorithm showed you what you actually wanted to see instead of what keeps you scrolling? I don't have the answers, but I know this verdict is the first domino, and more cases are coming. The business model is changing, and we all have a choice about what we build next. For creators, think about your responsibility. Like you designed it. Create content that respects your audience's time and attention. For users, this verdict is your permission slip to question your relationship with these platforms. You're not weak for being addicted. You're human. The platforms are just really is just the beginning, and the question is, what do we want to build instead? I'm genuinely curious about what you think about this.